Yes.
What's your reaction to how Twitter has grown since you first envisioned it?
Well, I always knew the concept of Twitter was very strong. Something like Twitter looks like it's a very short story. We've been around for 3 years as Twitter, and as of November of last year during the election is when we really took off. And this year with Ashton and Demi Moore on it, and being on Oprah and all this, it looks like it's just something that's brand new and just suddenly awakened and out of nowhere. But it turns out that this is a technology that I've been working on since I was 16 years old, and a concept that I kept coming back to in every single thing I did. So it's definitely a life's work for me. It's during that time I made a lot of really stupid mistakes. There were a lot of insights. There were a lot of false starts, and there was a lot of distillation to get to something simple. But really the story is there. Like you really have to be patient with something like this because it is a new idea. But it's an idea that I kept coming back to, and I always saw as really really important to the way I interacted with the world, and something that I wanted to see. So its recent success is fantastic, and definitely surprising. The velocity is surprising to me. But Twitter, we have a lot of work to do. We really succeed when I'm not up here in front of your class talking about Twitter, and we're not talking about Twitter anymore. But it really becomes a background. It really fades into something that we all just use and we know, and it becomes a utility. It becomes a way we communicate. When email first came out, it was everyone was talking about like email. You have to get on email. You have to use email. It's the best thing ever. It's going to solve all the world's problems. Demi Moore is on email. And now, how much do you talk about email? You don't. It's part of your life. It's part of the way you communicate with people. So when Twitter reaches that point, when I no longer hear about Twitter, that's when I'll be happy. Yes?
Like some people might argue that like being able to see and like trying to follow someone else's followers is a problem. Like in a case where like companies follow all of their competitors' followers to potentially like steal away all their business. Like, what are your opinions about that?
Well, one of the cultural shifts I think we've seen in the world these days is that there's more and more information. There's more and more public information. People are not as concerned with what we consider private before. We're learning that transparency is a good thing, and transparency inspires a lot of movement and a lot of discussion. So to be honest, I think it's a very good thing that people are looking at each other's competitors, and they're following the conversation of other products, and they're following the way that other people operate their businesses, their organizations, their governments, and themselves. I think that can only help evolve what we're trying to do, what we're all trying to do, which is grow and simplify the way we live our lives.
I was wondering, when you launched Twitter, what did you do to kind of get the word out that it was there? You just...
I told my mom. Yeah, she called all her friends. No, it's an interesting story because we spent $10,000 on marketing ever. And that was in our first 6 months. We went to the South by Southwest conference. We bought